Greetings, my friends, and welcome to a fresh installment of Quick Grabs. This time, let's explore together this unique figure, the African buffalo from Schleich's lineup for the current year, 2024. Let's start our first review as we closely analyze the intricate details of this figure. By the way, if you enjoy what you see here, I'd truly appreciate your support. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, give us a like, and don't forget to share this with your friends. Thank you so much in advance. Hello, fellow wildlife enthusiasts. Today, we're diving into the exciting world of Schleich's newest release in this year, 2024, the African buffalo. But before we jump into the review, let's talk a bit about this magnificent creature. The African buffalo, also known as the Cape buffalo, is a formidable and iconic species found across the grasslands and savannas of sub-Saharan Africa. These massive herbivores are known for their distinctive horns, which form a characteristic boss on their heads. With a robust build and a strong sense of community, African buffaloes are known to form large herds, offering protection against predators like lions and hyenas. So what we've got here is another one of Schleich's creations, or should I say, one of their countless renditions of this magnificent creature. It's interesting to note that this release follows Schleich's first buffalo figurine back in 1996. That piece, I believe, stood the test of time for many years. Then there was a significant hiatus of over 10 years before Schleich wowed everyone with another standout piece in 2011. After that, it seemed like there was complete silence on the buffalo front until now. But what's intriguing about this piece is the noticeable differences in the quality of the material, the paint job, and the fur texture compared to the previous version. The pose isn't anything too remarkable, just a calm stance with the buffalo looking out. It's decently sized, measuring 13 centimeter long and 7.5 centimeter high, with some attention to detail in the sculpting. So let's take a closer look at this version compared to the previous one, so you can see the clear differences between both models. Well, yeah, clear contrast in colors between the two versions. Noticeable difference in the shape and size too. And as always, I've openly expressed my admiration for the 2011 edition. And this new version also brings some diversity to the collection with these slight differences. Let's take a closer look. Slight difference in size between the two. And it looks like Schleich decided to reverse the direction of the pose, giving it a distinct look from the previous version. Here's a look from the back. And from the front, accurate head colors, fine texture, and perfect shape for both. Here's a quick comparison with the papo version as well. Now, let's turn our attention back to our model and closely examine the features or aspects that caught my interest, in my opinion. The shape seems to be generally fine, accurately reflecting the scientifically correct anatomy. What really stood out to me is the attention to detail in the fur hair. Drawing from my modest experience in sculpting, I can't help but notice that there doesn't seem to be a significant effort made in sculpting the hair and showcasing its various waves along the body, which we're accustomed to seeing in different Schleich versions. You can tell that in the previous version, they really took the time to bring out the fur details, giving it that special touch. But with the new version, it seems like they just quickly brushed the surface, creating these simple lines without much care. I would have liked to see those side ribs on the new figure too. It feels like they settled for a more basic surface instead. The head details are good, but it feels finer in the previous version. Personally, I also prefer the light brown color scheme on the horns and muzzle over the gray used in the new one, but both are flawless. The horns are fantastic, perfectly sculpted, and I really love the clear ribbed texture added to the new version. It adds a realistic touch. Looking at the back, I think it would have been nice to see some hair added on the upper back here, but hey, there's nothing wrong with opting for a simpler surface either. A noticeable difference in size, as we can see, the new version looks smaller. It looks like they stuck to keeping the shape pretty accurate without getting into the nitty-gritty details like muscles or skin folds. And when it comes to the paint job, they kind of kept it simple with just one color for the body, a dark brown without any cool shading or fades like we saw in the previous model. Unfortunately, the tail didn't get much attention this time around. It's pretty simple and not as distinct or separate from the body as in the previous model. They basically just sculpted it to show its shape, as we can see on the animal's back. But I really liked the idea of the head being extended and raised forward, as if the animal was giving a warning signal to the herd. Like I mentioned before, I think adding more realism to the figure by highlighting the muscles and ribs and adding more skin folds would really take it to the next level. And I'm feeling pretty skeptical about the quality of the fur. To be honest, it's a bit disappointing, and I was really hoping for something better than this. But I have to admit, the way they carved out the fur is still pretty clever though. The neck looks pretty basic. I don't see any dewlap or chest muscles either. But it's still a pretty nice piece overall. The head is definitely a standout for me. The details are fair enough. The details in the muzzle are impressively realistic, and the color is impeccable. Adding facial hair was a smart move too, and those eyes, they look incredibly realistic and spot on. I appreciate that they didn't neglect to add some hair under the throat. It's a commendable idea. And the wide wrinkle ears look pretty accurate to me. Let's not forget about those ribbed horns. They really stand out. And it's worth mentioning that both males and females have horns too. The hooves look good, but I'm not quite sold on the color. Maybe, I don't know, a brownish hue might have been a better fit. The details on the back, including the rump and the hump, seem to be intact, and I'm not spotting any major flaws. It's definitely a pretty figure, no doubt about it. I gotta hand it to Schleich. They've really delivered another unique piece that deserves a special spot in our collections. But, you know, guys, I won't lie, I was a bit disappointed about one thing. I was actually hoping for a female buffalo to join this family instead of a second male. But hey, that's all right. Maybe in the future we'll get to see that. All right, guys, thanks a bunch for watching, and I trust you enjoyed this review and it gave you a solid understanding of the figure, but I really appreciate your strong support for the channel. So let's team up to bring you more top-notch content that it's the mark for you. If you're watching my videos for the first time, I'd really appreciate it though. If you hit the subscribe button, like, comment, and share. I'm putting in a lot of effort to create content that you'll love. Thanks once more, and catch you in the next episode.